What's in the shadow around your career and work path? What are you perhaps not talking with yourself about? Or even if you really love your work, is there something that you're not bringing into your awareness or that you're having trouble with? And are there things that you feel that you don't know that are being kept on the down low? Hi, I'm Kristen. Welcome to our weekly career path reading. We're going to look at your relationship with your work and what you do in the world. It's such a part of who we are. And perhaps there's something that you're not admitting to yourself about your work that you want to change. And it could be a wonderful thing or a good thing as much as a negative thing. It could be that you have people around you that could help you more, but you're not letting them, Or there could be some things that you feel you aren't being told. So let's see what's going on here. I'll pull a card for you and I'll pull a card for your work. Kind of like a relationship reading, only with your work. Because our work affects everything. It affects how we move in the world, how we feel about ourselves. It can affect our relationships, like how our work is affecting us. All right, so I pulled for your card is wayfinding. I just pulled this card out. I just did the weekly reading, like the weekly collective reading that goes out every single Monday. And the card that I pulled was wayfinding. So interesting. So you might want to go look at that weekly energy update. And the card for your work, your environment, the peeps there is balance. So with these two cards out, you're trying to find your way into balance with work. Perhaps you feel that you don't have a balanced experience at work, like your relationships there are not balanced, or even the physical work is out of balance. Perhaps you've been promoted, but really it's like you're doing your job and the new job, and the pay grade is not the pay difference. You're not being paid for two jobs, but you're doing two jobs. I mean, that's something that I think some of you are going to resonate with. I think some of you are in environments that aren't in balance at all. There's a blockage. People could be out of balance emotionally here with this water here. And you're trying to find your way through what seems a little bit slippery or murky, trying to keep your own balance. Maybe you feel at work that, you really can't be quite yourself, or, you'd like to speak up about certain things, about how you're being treated, how certain people are being treated, what decisions are being made, and you feel like you can't. You feel like you're kind of trapped. Some of you are trapped working with certain people. It's interesting. It feels like a mystery here. What's in this other room? Some of you are working and you don't know what higher ups are thinking, or you don't know what the boss is thinking, but there's if you can find your way to the other side, there's a lot of open space. So it's navigating your emotions, and perhaps you're navigating other people's imbalanced emotions as you try to become feeling less caged in. Some of you are feeling creatively blocked or creatively caged in, or just caged in and you can't express yourself, or it's like you're from the outside looking in. But there is an opportunity to work through the block and to go to a place that's more abundant, where there's more space. I think a lot of you are in a place of, how do I leave this situation? And you may want to be asking, can I leave this group of people? Can I leave this team? Can I switch to this other team? You just want to leave altogether. You want to feel more free at work. For a lot of you, this is affecting your home life. Like you want to come home and just rest. You feel like you don't have time for any of your hobbies or any of your activities, or for hanging out with your friends or family, because you just want to just sit there and kind of like relax at the end of the day and like binge watch Netflix and like eat comforting foods. And for sometimes like that's exactly what we need to do. But then there's this balance of not trapping yourself. So it's like, how do I get myself out of this trapped situation? And again, I think for some of you, it's going in and working with the place where you are. And for others of you, it's leaving that place. King of Pentacles, because you know that you're someone who can manifest. You have ideas, you have insights, you have wisdom, you have talent, you have knowledge, and you know that you can produce. And you don't want to feel like you're being held back. And with the Hierophant, it's like you feel caged in by the structure. And I'm going to suggest that you connect more really to your higher self. Take a deep breath. Connecting to that part of you that knows that you could approach a boss, or you could approach a coworker, or that you have every single right to express your needs and wants. You have every single right to tell someone like, this is the right plan. These are the clients are gonna like this idea. Like, don't be afraid. Don't keep yourself blocked, because that's part of what's causing the imbalance. If you're scared, you feel caged in. If you're blocking yourself, this is about getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, taking a risk, disrupting old patterns, and the story that you're telling yourself about, I'm not going to be listened to. Or it's very similar to this reading that we did for Monday. It's like we get caught up in how we used to constantly do things based on the need for security and to feel like we have a job, and we don't want to rock the boat and we want to compromise. You get yourself in a repressed state, and it begins to affect emotionally. And you could be this could be a whole group of coworkers you're all experiencing this, and it's sort of like you're in this like a pod together, and it's almost like it becomes like this enabling thing. Or maybe you're trying to work your way through this, but you're with these people that are just they're complaining all the time, they're whining, they don't want to do anything, they don't want to say anything. And it's like, I think with this Hierophant, it's about being a leader from the highest regard of yourself, and taking ownership and responsibility for what's happening, regardless of what other people are doing. And you might find that if you step forward and start speaking up, that other people will be inspired and follow. That there needs to be a change in the structure. A new structure that comes in. And you're finding your way towards this new structure. And part of it is how you structure yourself and how you structure your own workday. Four of Pentacles, not hiding what's in your heart. Often with work, we can say we feel passionate, but often it's about, how has this been run? What is the structure of this? Like we don't want to do anything that, it's about not wanting to do something that's going to stand you out. Don't be invisible. Don't just be a cog in the wheel. Disrupt. Don't hold yourself back. Don't sit on your emotions. Don't repress them in. Four of Swords, another card that came up in the weekly reading. Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles. This is balance. This is balancing taking care of yourself taking care of your heart, which again is something that when we're talking about ambition, when we're talking about wanting to get promotions, when we're talking about, trying to look a certain way, sometimes we don't really acknowledge how we're feeling, or again, we kind of like tuck it in, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna hold on to what I have because I know I have this position and everything's okay. And maybe if I just wait till next year, then I can speak up and then I can try to make a change. But if I try to do it now, it's like, I really feel like there's no more waiting anymore. It's about boldly moving forward and trusting yourself, and whatever happens, and you're prepared for it. Because with the Emperor, you want to be stubborn about how you feel. You want to be stubborn about making change that's going to be beneficial for the structure, for everyone moving forward. I feel like there are people here who are stuck in the past, stuck on how things have always been done. These could even be people that are working for you. Like you could own this business, and you have people around you that are sort of stuck, and you want to do things differently, and they're whining and they're upset about it, or they don't know how to do it. Maybe if this is your business, or even if it's not your business, if you're like a boss or a leader, you could be hiring new people, and people are jealous of the new people because they're afraid that they're going to become insignificant because maybe they're younger people, or they're people that have different kinds of knowledge. It's like you want to move forward into something, I want to say international for some of you. You want to go way more public than you are. You want to take this to a bigger level. Like maybe you want to try to you don't want to just be in local stores. You want to be in nationwide stores, or you want this thing to be seen, or for people all over the world to be able to have access to whatever this is. And you're around people that are really just content to be where they are. And they're afraid of change. And that's causing an imbalance in you. Because it's going against your grain. It's going against who you are inside, who you are now. And remembering that, what we needed 6 months ago, 6 years ago, it constantly changes. And that's what you needed then. That's what was good for you then. You've changed. This is who you are now. It's a recognition of who you are now. You are an emperor. You're somebody who you want to have more control of your own destiny. And I think you want to do that. You want everyone to work together in balance more. And you want people's emotions to count. It's like transforming energy that's enabling people, whether it's people that working for you or you're working for someone and they're doing this to everyone around. It's like not enabling this sort of let's just stay where we are. Gosh, Page of Cups. This also came up in the reading I just did for the weekly. This is about stepping forward with something new here in this reading. Someone's got to step forward and say, this is new, this is different. This could be more of a trend that's going to interest younger people, perhaps. Maybe you want to bring your audience into younger people. Perhaps, again, this is bringing younger people into the business. And perhaps you're seeing coworkers or people working for you getting upset because they don't feel valued. And I don't think that's, you don't want people to feel not valued, like they're outside looking in. You just want everyone to come together and to begin to embrace a more expansive way that's going to eventually be more abundant for everyone. So what's the last bits on how to do this? Oh, with the five of Cups, some people are just not going to work with it. Some people are, what they are. Some people are always going to feel left out. And you don't want to feel left out. If you don't speak up, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't take on your emperor energy and balance, your thoughts, your ideas with what your heart wants as well. It's like the heart-mind connection. It's like embracing these manifestations that you can physically create, that are tangible, that are real, based on your inspirations, based on what's coming from your heart, based on what you know is the right thing to do, then you'll just continue to spiral more into imbalance. And if other people are doing that, you can't really help them. You can't control other people. You can't force other people to do what they're not going to do. With the devil, because some people are just attached. There's like unhealthy attachment. Some people around you have an unhealthy attachment to their job. They have a toxic relationship with their job. The other side of this energy is really wanting to have a deep bond, like to feel passionate, to feel like a drive, like to have this lusty energy towards your work, to feel like, yeah, this is a part of me. This is part of my expression in the world. This is something that I want to move with me in the world. This is not something that I want to be attached to in an unhealthy way because it defines me or it's a part of my identity. And if I don't have it, who am I? No, this is just a healthy expression of who I am. I have a relationship with it. It's like having a healthy, happy relationship, not a toxic one that's based on some sort of trauma bond. Like, who am I without this? If I'm not the boss, who am I? Maybe you're dealing with someone that's like, well, if I don't have this title, or if I don't get to do this on the team, or if I'm not the boss's pet or whatever, who am I? I think there's just some disruptive people that are just always constantly trying to one-up everybody else because they think that that's making them look good to other people. But it's really causing a whole imbalance around this work environment. That's for some of you. And the Three of Cups, what you really want to do is create community. You want to move forward and try to create a real team. Like, we're in this together. Like, what you feel matters. What you think matters. Your gut and how your gut instincts matter to me. And it's about making those things matter to yourself. My gut matters to me. What I really feel matters to me. And I think even if you're in an environment that's really strange and you're not quite sure how to navigate it, even just like walking around with that, I'm not going to enable this behavior. I see this toxicity or this person who cares way too much about the numbers in their paycheck to the point where it's unhealthy. I'm not going to go out and have drinks with them after work. I'm not going to try to kiss up to them. Let those people do that if they want to have that relationship with work. For some of you, you really are leaving this environment because you're recognizing that there isn't going to be change. And if that's you in this reading, then you're making the absolute right decision. You're going to feel much more at peace. And for others of you, it's okay to pull away. Maybe you had community. I think some of you are discovering that perhaps in a work environment, you would go out and drink too much with people, or you would gossip too much, and maybe it served because it made you feel a sense of belonging. But now you don't need that anymore to belong. Perhaps, I think some of you have friends from other communities, or a stronger maybe you've met a romantic partner, and that's really healthy, and you're realizing just how unhealthy your work situation is because it's either a romantic partner or new friendships where you're seeing how they function in the world, and also maybe they're talking about their work environments and you're just seeing how things can be different. But if you're staying where you are, it's really about having a healthy non-attachment and kind of minding your own business on what other people are doing. Because with the final thoughts here, 10 of rods, you don't want to burn yourself out. Your mental health, your physical health is the most important thing. If you don't have your health, it doesn't really matter how much money you have. If you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor, if you're mentally stressed, if you're physically exhausted all the time, if you feel like you're bottomed out, you're burned out, accept the creativity. Accept it for yourself. And infuse your creativity, your ideas, your wisdom, your education your inventions wherever you can. And it's almost like, I want to say you're putting a secret healing. You're infusing like a thread in your work environment. And maybe you're the only one who knows you're doing it, but you're the only one who needs to know that you're doing it because you're doing it for yourself. And I think you might notice over time that it does affect other people as well. And you might find that things, even though subtly, may begin to change over the course of the year. So thank you so much for being here. Please hit the thumbs up. It would really mean the world to me. It would helps the algorithm, and that would be very much appreciative. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling, what you're resonating with this, and if you're called, I would love it if you would join the community. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to hang out with me more. I would absolutely love to connect with you more. I will see you in the next one. Bye.